meat and curry, I'm your man. Cause how we all lose it is a mystery. It's like the changing of our wardrobes from a dire history. But it's the one making us not stop. 50 kilograms is all we've got to drop. La 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 la, la 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 la.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's 50 kg and 0% drop podcast. If you're interested in finding us on social media, we are on Instagram at the 50 kg drop podcast or the 0% drop podcast. But this week we are joined by Jonathan Craven and Mike Collins as Johnny embarks on his sugar-free living diet. Gentlemen, hello.
Hi Ian, how are we doing?
Hey there, Ian. How are you?
Good, thanks. I'm in sunny Spain, in Santiago de Compostela. So I'm going to leave you guys to it because I'm on a bit of a dodgy line here.
No problems.
But I'll be listening in the background. Over
Sounds
to you
good.
guys.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, so Mike, is there any particular format for this? I'm a bit sort of ignorant as to how we do it, or is it just a catch up between me
Yeah,
and
no problem. So you said you did the prelim or the prep week stuff?
Yeah, so I did the prep. I binge watched, as you said was allowed in your first one or two videos. You said you can skip through it if you want, so I did that to get started sooner. And then the plan was to start on Sunday, which I did. But then I had Greek yogurt, and I'm not sure if that's allowed.
Greek
So then
yogurt's fine. Sugar-free Greek yogurt.
I think so, yeah. So I guess in theory I'm on day 3. Yeah, so firstly the good news. One of the main reasons I'm doing this lifestyle change is not so much for the weight loss, it's more for the sort of clarity of thought going forward, sort of feeling better.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've mentioned it before, probably. I had been suffering with chronic headaches, to the extent that it actually forced me to quit my job that I'd been working with Ian. I'd been there for about 10 years and I just couldn't carry on anymore. I've been seeing a chiropractor who's helped massively. We decided it was quite likely sort of posture related. Incorrect posture over the years had led to me having these headaches. So a correction of my posture, stretching, and the chiropractic adjustments has improved it, but still not sort of hit that sort of 100% feeling fresh. But yeah, potentially the last 2 days have been the best I've felt in the last year. So potentially,
Yeah, look,
no sugar has helped already.
Almost everybody's headaches go away when they get off sugar and caffeine.
Yeah.
So here's what we're going to do today, because you only got till 40 past the hour, right?
Yeah.
All right, so this is a little bit short of time to do this, but we're going to go through it anyway, and we can maybe finish next time. So what I need from you is it's called an intake. It's an entire history of your sugar. Starts with, as a child, remembering when you first found it, stole it, sneaked it, needed it, wanted it, whatever, back when you were a kid. And I need to know, like, what kind of house you grew up in, alcohol, drugs, diabetes, weight, whatever, in your home and your family, both parents and both sides of the family. And then I need you to tell the whole story up to when you are now, like when you went to university, when you went to work, the weight gains, the things that you've been through to try and figure out, or to try and diet, the exercise.
So we did this maybe about a month ago, but maybe if it wasn't in high enough detail.
Yeah, no, we just kind of overview there. This is the in-depth one. This is more in-depth. We really need to get to know exactly what's going on.
So how much detail do I go in for? Do I just talk nonstop for half an hour?
Yeah, just talk nonstop, and I'll break in to to try and prompt you on stuff that I need. Okay. But I'm really most interested in your early childhood experiences in your family and with the sugar?
Okay, so I wouldn't say I was as bad as some children. And I think that was maybe because of my parents' influence. I think I wanted to be, but my parents were reasonably strict with the sugar. Yeah, I was sort of standard as any kid like that. Sugar was the highlight of my weekend. Like that was what I looked forward to, eating sweets. That was the pinnacle of life as a youngster. And I told the story last time that the nearest shop was sort of 45-minute walk because I lived up in the country in the hills, and on occasions when my parents were too busy to drive us into the shop, we would still walk. We would walk 45 minutes and 45 minutes back just to get our sugar intake, which to me now seems ridiculous. Like there's no way I'd walk 45 minutes to buy a Mars bar. There's times when I've been hungover when I can't even be bothered to walk 5 minutes to the shop and I get something delivered. But yeah, that's how much I was addicted to sugar, if you like. But yeah, I don't think I was as bad as some kids. I still don't think I've ever been that bad on the sweet stuff. I'm more of a savoury guy when it comes to the reasons why I'm overweight.
Okay.
I binge eat on takeaways, chicken, pizza, whatever, burgers, whatever.
Okay.
I can still have a sweet tooth. Like I always have this thing where I tell myself, right, I'm giving up. This is it. I'm going to change my life. So I'm just going to eat as much as I want because it's the last time. And turns out that's the stupidest thing I could have done, because I must have done that last hurrah hundreds of times. And I honestly probably eat 10,000 calories in a day or more. And it's just stupidest things. Obviously, if it is actually going to be the last time, fair enough. But I should have had the self-discipline to realize it's not the last time and not do it. But yeah, when I would have one of those sort of final blowouts, I used to call it, I would eat 10 chocolate bars maybe.
So tell me, when you were young, like, is your family drink a lot, or was there chaos of any kind, divorce, anything going on?
Oh yeah, there's quite a lot going on. Parents
Yeah.
divorced over a gambling addiction. But we were
That's your father?
my father, yeah, but we were too young to be told that, so they let me think it was because of me because I was in the process of getting suspended from school. I was a bit of a troubled child with my behavior. I was extremely close to being expelled. I was suspended 3 times. And yeah, they sort of they didn't say you're the reason we're getting divorced, but like they didn't sort of correct me when I thought that.
And how old were you when they got divorced?
I was about 12, 13.
Okay.
And I got suspended in my first and second years of secondary school. And yeah, they definitely didn't. We didn't know the truth until I was sort of 16, because they just didn't think a gambling addiction was something that children would understand at all.
And did your father recover, go to Gamblers Anonymous, or is he still alive?
Yeah, no. So he just borrowed the money. So he borrowed the money off his parents and then quit. Yeah, I'm not sure if he actually. It's a bit of a touchy subject with him, so I don't really bring it up. But he lied to my mum. He hid it from my mum. That's why they divorced, because she discovered it herself rather than him telling her the truth.
And tell me what your weight was before the divorce and after the divorce.
No, it's fine. I didn't put on weight. I didn't really put on weight until 16, maybe.
Okay.
Quite healthy as a kid.
You just play sports?
Yep. Yep. Not to any successful level for any of them, but I played rugby, cricket, football. I think there was one year when I got into my running. I was reasonably active child. I mean, so I went to boarding school where you're with lots of other kids, so all you do is play sport. Like in the evenings you can play football and up until you go to bed. So yeah, very active.
When did you first go to boarding school, and did you want to go?
Yes, I wanted to go.
To get out of the chaos?
No, so it was I grew up in a very remote part of the UK, so there wasn't that many good schools in the area. So if I wanted a good education, I had to board. That was
Okay.
why they sent me there, because if the local high school was not good standard.
Wasn't it a financial burden for your parents, or was it?
So it was a state boarding school. So the education was free. You were just paying for the accommodation and the food. So it's not like a sort of 20,000 a year private school. It was, I believe, it was around 5,000 per year.
Okay.
But that it was still a burden, and there was a discussion around that. I think that was another reason for the divorce. My father wanted to take us out of the school. My mum didn't. That was another big argument. But yeah, it definitely was a financial burden, even though it was the lower, not the same high fees as some of the boarding schools. My dad had issues with. He was an IT contractor, but there weren't many jobs in the area. But we grew up in a really remote place in Cumbria, in the north of the UK. It is no big city. Well, there's Carlisle, but that's not exactly a hotspot for IT, as he was an IT contractor.
Tell me about your mom. Is your mom overweight, like her sugar, diabetes, anything?
Thankfully, she doesn't listen, because if she hears me calling her fat on,
She won't, but
yeah, she a bit up and down, same as me. She's never been like grossly overweight, but she's never been in sort of. No, she's, to be fair, at times she's been in quite good shape.
How was she when your parents got divorced?
In terms of weight,
Yeah.
I couldn't remember that, to be honest. That's 24 years ago.
Right.
I wouldn't be able to remember her weight. So she's quite active sometimes. She rides horses. She lives in the countryside, so and she has has land, so she's constantly walking around, sort of carrying things for the horses, for the animals. So she's quite active. But then she's very unhealthy in terms of her food choices. Even though even though she's vegetarian, she's she's
That might be
vegetarian, but yeah, not healthy at all. Heavy drinker, daily drinker. So yeah, it's quite hard to be in shape if you're drinking a bottle of wine a day or two. Although my stepdad manages it. I don't know how. He's got a stupid metabolism, I reckon.
What food choices do you think as a vegetarian? She's a lot of sweets and stuff along with the alcohol?
Nah, no, not sweets. Just sort of a lot of cheese. Yeah,
Pasta,
a lot of pasta, cheese,
bread.
bread. Yeah, and just I've never known her to sort of be on a sort of proper health kick in terms of the food. Yeah, my dad's similar. He's pretty overweight as well. Yeah, he fluctuates as well. Like he does his orienteering. He has ran a marathon before.
Is your dad as big as you?
Weight or height?
Weight.
Probably similar, but he's a bit taller. But I mean, I'm 110 kilos at the moment. My peak was 123. I don't think my dad. So I was 123. I was sort of really quite obese. I don't think my dad's ever been like that. So I would say I was fatter than my dad at one point. Yeah.
All right, keep going. So tell me, like, when you started in boarding school, and you said 16, you started gaining weight. Start from there.
I guess it's when you have a bit more control of what you eat because of your money. So boarding school, you get the meals per day, set meals. You can go up and up. You can go up for leftovers if there are some leftovers, which I did on quite a few occasions. But there's still only a certain limit to what you can eat, and then your money that you got your sort of your pocket money. You don't really want to be wasting that on food because you need that for clothes, for other things. But then sort of when I was sort of 16, 17 and I was having part-time jobs and had a bit more money, then I would start to spend a little bit more of my own money on food. So that was maybe what the reason why the weight gained. And that was when the time when I really sort of got overweight was when I got a full-time job where I had sort of the most money I'd had, like
How old were you?
23. 24. So it was when I started working with Ian, when I that was the first like salaried job I had, where I was a good amount of money was coming in. Didn't have rent because I was still with my dad at that point. So I just had, like spending 20 quid on a pizza was nothing. Whereas any time before in my life, sort of having to spend 20 quid or even 10 quid was like, do I want to spend that? But as soon as I had an abundance of money, well, not to the point that 10, 20 wasn't a lot, then I started eating a lot, an awful lot. And yeah, I think it's always been this sort of coping mechanism, just being depressed because I've got to work and drank too much on the weekend, and just sort of comfort eating. Basically, that's all. I would always eat loads on a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, I might go, right, it's time to start eating healthy again. And then drink all weekend and then back into the same circle. So it was, I'd say the main reason I would eat is just to sort of get some enjoyment out of those early days of the week.
Got it.
Because it was we worked till 7 o'clock back then, like every day. So I was getting up, go to work, don't get home until an hour commute in London, wouldn't get home till like 8:30. The time to go to bed again. So like there's no work-life balance at all in that job.
Yeah.
So it was quite depressing waking up on a Monday, and it's like you don't even look forward to. It's not like, right, I've got to go and do an 8-hour shift and then I can enjoy myself this evening. It's right, I've got to do an 8-hour shift, then I've got to go to bed, then I've got to do another 8-hour shift. Well, and it wasn't even 8 hours, it was 9, 10 hours. It was quite full on. I'm looking back at it now, I should have just drank less. Because I finally realised at the age of 36 that drinking is not the one. But
I get it. No, I
it
get
is
it.
it's the culture in the UK. You
So
don't get told it's not normal, because it is
Tell
normal.
me what attempts you made to stop both drinking and getting healthy and losing weight over the years, the last decade.
Yeah, I did a boxing match with Ian. Testing my memory here, I'd say exactly 10 years ago. I think it was March 2015. Me and Ian signed up for charity boxing. We did a 3-month crash course, and I lost 3 stone. But I drank throughout the training, to the amazement of Ian. I was turning up at 10 o'clock in the morning, having finished drinking at 4 in the morning. And I realise now how stupid that is. That's not good for your heart. But no, I didn't know. So I lost the weight then, but then immediately put it back on. Like I finished the 3-month camp. I think I lost 3 stone in 3 months, and then just put it straight back on. I did another boxing fight exactly 2 years later, 2017. I started at a lower weight then. I started at sort of the round about the mark I am now. So I actually got down to 14 stone from 17 stone. So approximately 93 kilos or something from 110, something like that. I think I maybe kept it off for like an extra month or something before putting it back on that time. Had absolutely no intention of giving up drinking. Drinking was what I lived for. Was trying to just there was no desire at all to give up drinking. I was just trying to be healthy while drinking. Then COVID, I had one successful weight loss because, yeah, I mean, we were forced to not drink then. We were locked up, weren't we? And I did originally carry on drinking just indoors because I lived with two friends, so I had some sort of social element to it, and we were quite big on the Zoom calls, like getting 20 lads on a Zoom call and all getting pissed, all getting drunk, talking to each other. So I still drank for a good amount of COVID, but I think I did have a good sober spell during COVID as well. Lost some weight in COVID, put it back on as soon as the pubs opened again. But then around maybe sort of 4 years ago, I sort of realised that I maybe did want to stop drinking so much, and that I only wanted to drink for sort of a real reason. Like I wanted to drink if it was a wedding or someone's birthday or even a big football match. But prior to that, it was if I had a weekend where I didn't have anything planned, I would be looking for something to do because I wanted to drink every single weekend. But then it did swap to the opposite, where I was quite happy. Well, yeah, quite happy to have a sober weekends because I realised they were good for my bank balance, good for my health. So I probably had years where I didn't have a single weekend off the drink. So I never was a alcoholic. I never drank during the week for no reason. But there was, yeah, like as I said, I probably would go a full year without a single sober weekend. Or if it was because I'd ran out of money at the end of the month or I was ill or something. But then, yeah, it finally changed, and I sort of actually realised that having a fresh weekend made the following week a lot more enjoyable. So then I changed and I continued drinking, but drinking much less. I'd still sometimes get carried away and go on a big bender, but just general decisions, sort of emphasis change in terms of my how much I wanted to drink, and that had a noticeable change on the scales. I lost weight and actually kept it off, and I managed to get down to a good weight of around that sort of 95 kilo mark, and kept it off for sort of 2 years almost. I genuinely thought I'd cracked it, and then yeah, I put it back on again after keeping it off for 2 years. I think it started with a big hangover after returning from a 3-week holiday in Thailand. But then I think the continuation of it was maybe sort of stress related in my job. I'd changed from still within the same company. I'd moved from off sales back onto sales. Sales is obviously a target driven, stressful environment. So maybe the food was a sort of comforting mechanism for that. And then, yeah, coming up to present day, quit my job about 9 months ago due to well, I wasn't massively performing, but the main reason I did quit was my health. And yeah, was really determined to find a sort of happy compromise of continuing to drink alcohol. And by then I was quite often sort of going 6 weeks sober until I had a big event planned that I would go sober. But I found that not having, so I'd set up my own company and started working remotely myself. I found that not having to go to work on a Monday just meant I partied harder. I didn't have that sort of nagging, oh, you've got work on Monday, telling me to go to bed. And I had a couple of stupid sessions like that just going drinking till 10 in the morning, having a few hours sleep, waking up, cracking on. Just did a couple of those and was like, oh no. And then I'm just hung out, like feeling genuinely terrible for about a week. And it was just, I couldn't go on. And yeah, it's a lot harder when you're older to do that, to deal with it. And I said to myself, I need to sort this out. If I keep doing this, I'm going to have to quit drinking. And I gave myself, I think I said 3 strikes, and I probably had about 10 strikes. And I was like, you know what, that's it. I've had enough. I'm knocking this on the head.
Where are you now with that?
7 weeks without a drink. extremely happy with my choice. Just can't believe I didn't do it sooner. Might not even drink again ever. Like, I'll see where I am in a year. I said I'm doing 1 year. If I do start drinking again, it will be with the intention of trying to drink responsibly and in a controlled manner again. And yeah, I might give myself the 3 strikes again and just have another go at.
But you're okay for this no sugar challenge to not drink, right?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'm 100% not drinking. I'm
And so
loving it.
what is our start? How much do you weigh and how tall are you again?
6 foot, well, 5'11" and a half, and I currently weigh 110 kilos.
So about 220. All right, so look, you got to go in a few minutes, but look, I mean, the bottom line is, though, I can shoot you straight, is we have to find you new ways to, and when the sugar goes, you're going to go to a next level emotionally. And this is hard, but the guys, Ian and Taylor, it took them a little bit. They fought me a little bit, but they basically came around to it. And you've gotta, you gotta start paying attention when there's stress, and starting a new business is stressful. What you're thinking about, you gotta write it down, especially when you start your cravings, because over the next couple of weeks, you're gonna start some of the things that didn't get, some of the emotional soothing is what it is. Look, I mean, I'm going to shoot you straight because it's the fastest way, but the chaos that you grow up in with, a couple parents who have a proclivity for a little bit of addiction processes and some good food, some, sugary or, foods and a little alcohol. It was just a learned behavior. It was a coping mechanism that was largely unconscious. You didn't really think it through, like you needed a beer on a Friday because you had a rough week. It was just that it was available, the sweets were available, the food was available, and no one talked about it. No one knew about it back then, to be honest with you. And so you're in a place now where you're aware. But I want to warn you that over the next couple of weeks, with no sugar, or near, zero sugar, and, ultra processed carbohydrates, that there will be emotions. And for guys, it's a different game really than the women. 95% of my clients are women. It's really a different game you're going to lose weight faster, but if you don't pay attention to the, and I really like that your process, quote unquote, of returning over the last 6 or 7 years to the quitting the alcohol stuff. It's a similar process here. You're going to have, God forbid, most people don't make it without a little bit of a slip or a begin again kind of process. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but sometimes it does. You seem to have good resolve, but when it does, you have to think of it as a learning experience. If you have to know how you felt, and what do you have to bring to these meetings is a journal of how you felt during the week, anxious, tired, the headaches. Likely, are you a caffeine drinker?
3 strong coffees a day.
Are you willing to give that up?
I'm trying. I had 3 and then I cut down to 2. I tried to cut down to 1 today, but I proper slumped at sort of 2 p.m. and was just lying in my bed.
Yeah.
Wanting
So
to do
it's going to
nothing.
be
So I had a coffee.
that lethargy is going to be nasty, and you may have some headaches during that as well.
I've given up coffee before, so I'm willing to try, but yeah.
I mean, it does accentuate the process, or accelerate the process and accentuate the process. So you're going to be in a place where for a few days, you're going to be near incapacitated in this coming week. And so you need to be ready for it. It's nothing to be afraid of, really. It's your brain saying, thank you for giving me a break. But it's also going to come with it the withdrawals that you might have, headaches and lethargy and irritability and depression. You're not depressed. You're just redoing your brain reward chemicals. Okay. You might be a little blue. Anhedonia, know this term? So anhedonia means the inability to feel joy. And so you may have some of that going on, but just persist. Call Taylor, call Ian, walk through it with them. They're more than happy to talk with you, I'm sure. And
I did have one fairly major question, Mike.
yes.
So from watching the videos and reading the website, it seems like the diet that you're offering on that is quite different to what Ian is like, because Ian and Tay seem like they've done full carnivore, like
Right.
no vegetables at all, whereas the cookbooks and the recipes and the Quit Sugar Secret Guide, even says you can eat starchy vegetables on that. So I was a bit confused. Is there two different diets here? I know diet is the wrong
And
word.
you can't, I really do believe that the clean keto or a carnivore diet is the fastest way. You can do it the other way, but you're going to find that it's more difficult. Most people can't go from the standard American or English diet, all the way to keto, or all the way to clean keto and carnivore. That's a very big jump. Okay. And Taylor did go through some vegetables at the beginning, and still may. And Ian was a little quicker, but to go to carnivore, but still, the answer to your question really is, whatever you feel comfortable with. I would try. You do have to get the healthy fats in, though. You have to get the animal fats, the eggs, you have to get the animal fats in. Because it's
that's no
good to
problem.
heal your brain up,
Yeah. So if Tay and Ian were saying that I can only eat vegetables for sort of 2 to 3 weeks, if I did want to continue eating vegetables throughout, is that okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Try and stick with the greens if you can. The starchy potatoes, sweet potatoes, that kind of stuff is.
Yeah, but I mean,
Gonna-
again, so these things were listed on in your sugar guide, and that's what I'm confused about. So even like peppers, tomatoes, they're listed in some of the recipes and stuff. So they're allowed or not?
Yeah, you got to stay clear. A lot of that needs to be updated, especially my
Right.
book.
Okay.
My book was written in 2018 when I was still eating a few of those things. So, it's been what, 7, 8 years now. So it's been a while. So
Okay. So it really should be just the greens. And this is for 30 days, and then what about after the 30 days? What do you do after
it's a
30 days?
secret. It's a secret. We can't tell you. No. After 30 days, the real work begins. This is an adjustment in the diet and the ability to be abstinent. And then from abstinence, the real work begins. And the real work is going to be you learning new ways to self-soothe.
Do you then introduce those vegetables back or still no?
No, you won't want to be honest with you. You won't want to. Matter of fact, you'll want to go, maybe not always, but occasionally you'll want to go in the other direction, to be honest with
you. I was talking about inflammatory earlier, so I've read today that apparently red meat is inflammatory, so that's something I want to cut as well then. And doing carnivore without being able to eat red meat seems pretty. That's like a big chunk even gone.
It's very difficult. If you can for a time, I don't believe red meat is inflammatory. Once you heal from the sugar and the flour and the caffeine and the alcohol, you're going to find the inflammation go way, way, way down.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go, unfortunately.
All right, man.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Okay. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, no, as I said, I'm very happy with what I'm feeling already.
Okay.
So thank you
Good.
very much already for the
All right,
benefits
man.
I've got so far. Okay, cheers, Ian. Cheers, Mike.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
We've got some diet plans, health scans, sugar bans, fitness fans, PTs, injuries, laying off the Chinese, ball games, gym chains, protein gains and skin tight tops, and we ain't gonna stop until we hit the 50k. Drop, 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 no excess fat, no FAT, no curry bag, no guarantee. Rough or buff, lean on me, we'll end up as fit as a bear.